They had Fast and Furious. Then they had the Solyndra. I mean, imagine giving this company, what is it, 500 million or is it billion? In a company that didn't really exist, and the money probably trickle, like Michael Savage's book, Trickle of Poverty. I mean, who knows where this money actually ended up? Probably back to some high official. So anyway, you had Solyndra, supposed green. I mean, they claim that China is undercutting their prices of their solar panels so they couldn't compete. What a load of crap. Anyway, Solyndra. And now you have Light Square. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I just gotta shake my head. It's for a president who is dragging an unpopular agenda and low marks on handling the economic situation. A lot, he's just, these scandals are just bringing them even lower. But that's good news for us. Not really, but you just gotta remember all these things when November rolls around in 2012. You gotta vote this idiot out. As far as that, if you're wondering what that Light Square, the new scandal is, Light Squared, it's basically a deal that's been criticized by many, and it's a pay-to-play where Light Squared network would interfere with parts of the wireless spectrum, and it's not good. GPS, and they visited the White House and donated sums of money to Democratic campaigns. So again, I say it's all about the money to fund this idiot back into office. We gotta definitely not do that. So let me switch topics for a second here. This one really bothers me because I've been with YouTube since it began, and YouTube it's definitely not the same YouTube that we grew to love. I mean, it definitely is not the YouTube that we grew to love, and because Google bought them, I forget what year it was, but for 1.65 billion, and I maintain that Google is somehow part of the government, if not reporting to the government on a consistent basis. And it just makes me laugh because they say it's not good to have a monopoly, like a Walmart, Microsoft, whatever. They say it's not good to have a monopoly, but Google's clearly monopolized the search engine field. And not only that, but it's monopolized online videos. And now they have another venture on the way. This one really bothers me. But before I talk about that one, they have this one service, Google Voice, and I really like it because I don't really like to give my number out. I would rather not give it out, but you have to give it out at some point when you apply for loans and such. With Google Voice, you can, well, I don't really want to hype them up or anything. I don't want people, I'm not a spokesman for it or whatever. But anyway, with the Google Voice, you sign up for that, and you get a Google number. You give that number out, and when that number rings, it forwards straight to your phone, and your phone rings. That sounds good in theory, but I thought about it. All those voice messages are stored on Google's servers. Who knows if they're not monitoring and saving all your voice messages? I mean, I myself, I have a private number that only people that's high up on my food chain, they get that number. It's not many of them that have that. I could count on one hand. So any of my important serious calls goes to that number. So, but still, I just don't like the idea of being monitored. I just want them to stay the hell out of my life and let me do what I have to do if I'm not committing any crimes. Why don't you monitor all the Muslim in the mosques? See what they're talking about on their phones. But anyway, back to the story here. So, in a $600 million move, which could really threaten the future of broadcast as we know it, traditional broadcast, they plan to turn YouTube, which I said like they bought for 1.65 billion. They're gonna plan to turn that into some type of TV network offering up to 20 channels. You know, covering areas such as sports, news, comedy, featuring programs and such. And they're gonna do that I think next year, and they're gonna do that in the UK. So, not happy with that at all. The reason I'm not happy with that is because they control the content. That's what they're gonna do with this new Google TV. This service is, you know, like I said, is gonna launch next year in Europe, UK, and Europe, and I just don't like it because they get to control what can and can't go on there. And I just fear that it's just another liberal machine to feed feed us full of mush, basically. BS, liberal crap, socialism crap. We watch too much TV anyway. We should be reading more books, like Abuse of Power by Michael Savage. That's a freaking great novel. If you're into novels, you have to go on Amazon.com or go to your local bookstore, Barnes and Noble, and get that book. It's definitely a hot item. Abuse of Power, great item. If you're into novels, I myself think it'd make a great movie, but I'm not a director, am I? What else we got? Another thing that's frost my mug. It's pretty soon. Now imagine this. I mean, if you're driving, you should stop. Pull over and stop right now. The U.S. taxpayers could bail out the European market. Let me say that again. The U.S. taxpayers could pay for a European bailout. I paused because I'm not sure how to even address that. So far, America's role is fairly limited. But if the crisis continues to grow, the U.S. will take a wider role. And U.S. consumers and taxpayers could feel a bigger impact. Well, isn't that lovely? Unemployment's rising over here. We're barely keeping our heads above waters, and here we are sticking our nose in the European market, helping them out. You know, common sense would tell you. I'm not sure where. As a kid, I think it was my mom who told me this, or maybe I heard it somewhere else. But before you go out and take care of others, you gotta take care of yourself and make sure that everything is good with you before you could help someone else. How are you going to be sinking and swimming, and you're gonna go and help someone else from sinking and swimming? Does that make any sense? Again, Michael Savage is so right. Liberalism is a mental disorder. He is so right on that. Okay, I want to talk to the parents for a second here. Because before I talk to the parents, I want to say to Michelle Bachmann, there's another debate coming up next week, I believe the 22nd. That might be a Thursday, I'm not sure. But you gotta let this thing go with Rick Perry. I mean, I definitely agree. You can't, you can't legislate forcing a 12-year-old girl to have vaccines, or anyone for that matter that's underage. That's up to the parent. So, but I saw the debate in September. I forgot when it was. And he really seemed sincere when he said that if he had to do that over again, he wouldn't. He realized that, excuse me, it was a mistake to pass an executive order to pass that bill. You're beating a dead horse. Now, yes, I understand that you were the winner in Iowa in the caucus or the straw poll or whatever you call it there, and you feel like he just came out of nowhere and he's taking the #1 slot. So you're trying to focus in so you can get back the spotlight on yourself, but you're gonna fail if you're gonna keep trying to beat the dead horse with that. We understand that that was wrong, and he seemed really sincere. Look at Romney. He can't admit that Romneycare was a freaking disaster. If it wasn't for Romneycare, maybe Obamacare wouldn't even exist today. So why won't he admit that he was wrong? I don't trust him. I don't like him. So anyway, parents, if California parents can be stripped of their legal right to make informed medical decisions, it could happen to us anywhere in the United States. So I implore you to educate yourself on these things. No one should be able to force your children to have vaccines. You are the parent of that child. So the NVIC is doing their best to encourage you and protect your rights. I encourage you to register for free there at nvicadvocacy.org. www.nvcadovacacy.org. It's been a lovely vacation, but I'm a little rusty here. Haven't been doing it. I've just been relaxing, watching movies, and just having a few pops. But it's time to get back to work. It really is. So, till next time, God bless America.
Political corruption in the nation. A new sheriff coming to town. The politician is about. They're all too corrupted. Political bomb, so come on people, let's go. Political bomb, so come on people, let's go.